Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my tutorial today on making a flip-flop card. This could be a card you insert in an envelope, or it could be a gift card that you hang from a basket, or some flowers, or some kind of beachy fun items. So let's get started over in Design Space. So here we are in Design Space. The images and the sentiments that you see here are all from Winnie Starfish and Sandcastles, and that is from, of course, Polka Doodles. You can see that I've pulled in the ephemera here, the sandal that's already colored, or part of it's already colored in. And if you purchase this, it will not come with the Polka Doodles label on it. I have just put those on to keep unscrupulous people from coming in and taking the image for free. So I try to watermark as much as I can just to keep things safe. So little disclaimer there. So I've taken that piece. I'm going to right click with my mouse, and you can see that I have all these different options. Well, I can copy it. I can right click again and paste. All right, so you can see that what I've come up with here is the beginning now of this, the actual card base, which will give us a card shaped like a flip-flop. So I come up here, and I don't want that to be a print and cut anymore. I just want to make it a cut. So all I have to do is hit no fill, and there it is. It is now something that will just cut. Now I can turn around, take that again, do a copy, do a paste, flip it. See where I've come up here to the upper bar. I can do a horizontal flip on that and put those right together like so. Okay. Then I just select the two, and I'm going to have to pull this one out from underneath. But I select the two, I get them approximately where I want them, and it's easiest if you can line them up with, for example, this line right here, and that'll give you a pretty good fold on it. You also can check to see where you have it. If you look, when I click, it says X1175 Y1027. I come over here and I can get that again, and sometimes you can hook them up that way. There we go, 1027, 1027. So that should be pretty close to the same here. I take it, I left click, drag over both pieces. I can come down into this, the right hand side here, and I can say weld, and it will weld those together. And that's how I ended up with this piece right here. Now, all we're going to do is fold along this line, and then when we're making our card, see, this will go over, I'm going to move it back to the front, we'll go over the front and make the top of our card. I'm going to move that out of the way. So now we have the front, and we have the base, card base. Now, when I did this card front, I knew I wanted the flip-flop time on top of it. So all I had to do was, after importing that in, bring it over on top, line it up, again select all, and flatten. And now that will all print as one. My front is now done, and my card base is now done. In the middle, I wanted this relax, but I wanted it to print in this color. So all I needed to do was go in and just simply change the color right up here. So I come up to my top where it says cut. Just let me select it again. Cut, then hit the little colored square, choose the color I want, and now it's in that pretty turquoise color. Again, I can right click my mouse, send to the front, bring it in wherever I like, left click my mouse, select that, come over to this right hand column, flatten. And now that all prints, and that is now my inside. Let's back up one step though. Before I put that in, I did come in and make this from the same piece that I made these. I just copied one more. And then I just sized it down so that it would fit inside the card. You can size these up and down right here, make them as big or as small as you like. Now we have our inside piece. We have our front of the card, and we have our card base. This will be a print and cut piece. This will be a print and cut piece. So at this point, all I do is I click Make It, and you'll see that it's going to cut my front. It's going to cut my inserts. Now you can't see where it's going to cut on the insert. You just sort of have to trust that it is going to do it. And there is my card base. So again, this is a print and cut. You'll print this on your printer and then cut it on your Cricut. Print this one on your printer and cut it on your Cricut. And then this is just a cut that you can cut from any color cardstock that you like for your base. So you'll come down, you'll hit Continue. And it says print images on a printer of your choice. I'm waiting for it to recognize my maker. Once it's done that, I can say send to printer. And I use system dialog when I do this, all right? Now, after clicking print, it's going to come up back behind. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. I do this because I have a couple of different printers hooked up, and so I can come in here and say I want it done on my Epson printer, and then I can change my layouts here. So that's why I do that. I usually print with plain bright white paper in a standard, normal, so on and so forth. I'm going to cancel that because obviously I've already printed. I use medium cardstock, so I would then click this. And now it will come off my printer, and then I will load it into my Cricut, and then I will see the flashing light on my Cricut, and I will cut it, and that's all there is to it. And then you continue with your second page and your third. And I'm going to cancel that cut because I've already cut them. So I hope that gives you a good explanation of how I did this in Cricut. I do love questions. If you have a question, please let me know. I'm more than happy to address questions. If there's something you'd like to see me cover in Cricut, let me know that too, and I'll see what I can do. So now we have everything cut, and we're ready to move on to the craft table. First, let me share with you my inspiration for this card. I'm starting with a digi that is something beachy with a theme of holidays or vacation, and I'm making a card that is not square. Now on top of that, the inspiration is also to use something upcycled or recycled from your kitchen trash. What you see me with that baggie is actually crumbs from dog biscuits or dog treats, and that I was going to throw away. I break them up so they just get little pieces, but I decided here to go ahead and pick up those little powdery crumbs, put them in a bag, and you'll see what I'm going to use it for. Here I'm just simply gluing the front panel onto the card base. I'm just using a glue stick for this, nice and easy. Next I bring in my Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue, and I'm going to run glue, a bead of glue, all the way around the inside insert for my flip-flop card. This is where I bring in my recycled from the kitchen trash. Now, obviously my puppy Luther is not what I bring in, but his dog treats are what I bring in. What I like to do is I like to take the dog biscuits and break them into smaller chunks, making them into little training treats. Well, when I do this, this creates a lot of crumbles. So I thought I was going to throw them in the kitchen sink or just throw them in the dog food dish, which Luther would have really enjoyed, as would his sister Chloe, our golden retriever. But I decided, you know what? That kind of looks like sand. I could sort of put that around the edge of the inside and make it look like sand on the flip-flop. So that's what I chose to do. Here I'm just wiping off the bottle because I want to get all the dog food dust off. Here I had a little issue with my liquid glass. It oftentimes kind of gets stuck up in the nozzle. And so I just pulled that nozzle off and poured it down on my, I just use a glass from an old picture frame. And I just smear it on there and put it on with my fingers. Now I'm dropping on the little beads. These are just little tiny Bead Basics glass seed beads. And I'm using a turquoise color, a gold sandy color, and then I'm filling it out with a few clear ones here at the end. Once all of my little seed beads are in place and somewhat dry, I'm going to move on here and glue in the insert. Again, I'm just using my glue stick for that, nice and quick and easy. Wipe away some more of that dog food and a few little bead remnants. All I'm doing is simply putting that sort of in the center, lining up my holes, and again tapping off more of my little dog food dust or dog treat dust. Now I found this little tiny sand dollar. I'm not really sure where it came from, if it came from the craft store or a trip to the beach one time or something, but I thought, oh, that would be so cute on that flip-flop. So I decided I was going to glue that on, and before I glued it on, I thought, it still needs a little something else, and so I found this really pretty turquoise twine in my stash, tied a bow and put that on. So there's that little bow. And now I'm coming in again with the liquid glass, and I'm just going to put a little bit on that sand dollar and glue that on. And yes, you will notice I faked it. I actually went back and removed the tip again and just put a little glob on there before I actually really adhered it. But I figured you'd get the idea from the recording. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. It's always fun to share new ideas. Any questions or comments, leave them below. I'm always happy to hear from you. Come visit me on my blog. Have a great day.